Okay, so we've had a bit of a look at bias and what bias itself is. And we're going to look at how we can identify those particular signs of bias in an article today. And the best way to do this is just to start by reading through the article and think, is the writer of this article trying to persuade me that their opinion, their point of view on this is correct? Is there a lot of weight supporting their opinion in this article? So just pause this video, download this article. It will be on your Moodle account, and it will be called E-cigarette smokers may be exposing themselves to higher levels of cancer-causing chemicals. Make sure you've got the same one open. Have a read through and ask yourself, does the author seem to think that e-cigarettes might be a bad thing? Are they trying to convince me that e-cigarettes are bad? Okay, so you've had a chance to read that through, and by now you should have picked up on the author very much pushing a point of view that e-cigarettes can be harmful. And we're going to look at how they create that bias here. Now, as we've seen, a one-sided argument, or an argument where one side is given more weight than the other, is a pretty good sign of bias. So one of the first things we could do is we could go through it, and I'm just going to highlight in yellow the areas where I think the author is very much arguing that e-cigarettes are a bad idea or potentially harmful. And if we go through, as we can see, quite a lot of this seems to be indicating that e-cigarettes can be harmful. In fact, I would probably go as far as to say that throughout most of this article, you're getting this point of view that vaping, that e-cigarettes are potentially quite harmful. I mean, the only opposing opinion here really is this last sentence here, which I'm going to highlight in orange, which says, but many health bodies still view vaping as a safer alternative, with Public Health England saying that the devices are around 95% less harmful than smoking. The rest of this article is very much aimed at convincing you, using statistics, using evidence, using expert opinion, all those things we've looked at, that vaping is potentially harmful. And we can look here, we can look at how they create this bias. So first off, we've got use of emotive language here. And I'm just going to highlight that in green so it's a little clearer for you. I mean, exposing themselves, the words exposing themselves there and the word cancer there are quite emotive terms. They sort of conjure up this idea of someone exposing themselves to the elements, exposing themselves to danger. It's quite an emotive term. And again, we've got this as well, the chemical benzene. And they've included there, found in traffic pollution and paint stripper. So again, we've got that emotive language there, because traffic pollution and paint stripper are not things we'd want to be ingesting. And again, we've got some fact-based stuff here as well. We're saying it's been linked to a number of diseases, including leukemia and bone marrow failure. So we've got some use of facts there, which I will highlight in red. And we also have some expert opinion as well. So we've got this man here, Professor James Pankow, and he's quoted there. Interestingly, we don't have an expert opinion from the other side of the argument, the one that's saying that actually it's either safer or okay to vape, which is quite interesting. So we can see here we've got use of emotive language, we've got a very one-sided argument, and we have got use of facts, statistics, and expert opinion to back up this particular point of view. Now, bear in mind, as with all biased things, as with all sort of opinionated pieces, this isn't about whether the article is right or wrong. It's about whether it is biased, whether it is taking one side of the argument over the other. So there you go. That's how you can start to identify bias in a longer text.